What's up, you guys? My name's Kalima, also known as Kalima Music Art Wisdom, and today I have an artist to the celebrities, actually legendary celebrities. He's fashion designer Perry White.
Hello, thank you so much.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live Conversations.
Hey!
That's my jam.
Yes, this is your jam. This was requested today, and I love it. I love the vibe that we're going in from the very beginning.
Yeah, we got to keep it old school.
Yes, I just want to satisfy you because you're not mine. And this is the original.
The original, Shaka Khan.
Of course,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah, Whitney, the fabulous Whitney, of course, did the remake.
I know. But we got to pay homage to the originator,
That's right.
though.
Exactly, absolutely, every time.
Yes, well, thank you, Perry White, for coming to Black Hollywood Live Conversations.
Thank you so much, Kalima, for inviting me. It is more than a pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much. And I just want you guys to know that this man looks amazing. Like, literally, I'm telling you. Like,
she is making me blush.
Like, he's attractive, like, for real. Like, you would never, I don't know. I was just, like, really blown away. Like, especially, like, when I saw your pictures on social media, I feel like you look amazing there, and you totally looked youthful there, but I was like, oh my God, like, he's, like, actually ripped.
So you're making me blush.
No. I had to be honest. I had to let them know, but you guys got to follow him for sure. PerryWhite.LA.
That's correct.
And we'll get more into your social media, but what are you wearing today, by the way?
Well, I'm wearing Perry White, of course.
Of course.
And this is kind of like a throwback to the 90s, like kind of like my Bobby Brown, Don't Be Cruel.
Yeah, and it gave
my
me...
prerogative kind of... Shout out to Bobby, huh?
Yes, absolutely. And it gives me vibes of, like, Usher. Just I feel like it's time to break down and dance.
Well, see, I'm always blending old school with the new school. So, we have to pay homage to Bobby because he originally threw down with looks like this.
Yeah.
And then... artists like Usher.
Who were probably inspired by them originally anyway.
Every single time. That's how it works.
Yeah, and that's what you call a classic because it never dies. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. So, to talk about how you got into fashion, it turns out I found an article where you said your mom, being a fashion designer, used her skills to support the family, but you turned it into an even bigger career. What was your first big break, and how did it happen?
My first big break, that was, actually me and my mom worked on it together. I was actually still a student over at Trade Technical College. Wow. Shout out to Trade Tech.
Wow.
And I went downtown and bought like a couple of rolls of fabric. I was inspired to do like a kind of a leisure, actually what they call athleisure now, but it was more of like a glam kind of leisure.
Okay.
Using 8x2 rib. And we just kind of made the samples in her garage. I made the pattern, she did the sewing, and I took it over to Fred Siegel on Melrose, which is like the premier store, especially for anybody that's just starting in the business. I mean, there are established designers that would give a rib literally to be in that business.
Absolutely.
Or actually to showcase in that store.
Absolutely.
And I went in, showed the buyer, and he loved the line. And he gave me 60 pieces, which was a huge order for that store. Normally they buy between 15 and 20 of a collection, and they bought 20 pieces. And so I ran back home, showed my mom, and she literally cried.
Oh my goodness.
She was so excited, and we actually ran the production of that collection in our garage.
Wow.
And I showed up in my little Fiat Spider and delivered it. So,
and see, I love that because it shows, this is the thing, I feel like a lot of people who have dreams, they don't understand that sometimes you have to be the creator of it. You don't wait for a handout.
Yeah, exactly.
You might have to use it in your little 200 square foot studio and do what you can from there, but it's that one step that you're making. And I just believe like any sort of effort that you make, it always comes back, even if it is small. Look where you are today.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's all about, like, I think at that time, for me, it was like not knowing what the rules were. So I wasn't afraid to break them.
Oh, wow.
So it was, and I just knew that, it has to be as simple as, just finding some fabric and making something that you like.
Yeah.
My mom had the sewing skills. I was in school at the time for pattern making.
Okay.
And so I said, okay, so I can make, a pattern for a tank top, and I can make a pattern for a pair of pants.
Okay.
And so I just, I never thought, that there was anything else to it.
I love that. It's like, and that's almost a good thing when you don't know the rules, because you're a blank canvas and you just go for it. And that's where innovation is born.
Absolutely.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
So who are your biggest fashion inspirations?
Oh my God. One of them I actually had the privilege of working with, the great Prince, who died recently.
Yes. And we actually have a photo of one of your creations, Prince. We'll pull up in a second, but please elaborate.
Oh, awesome. So it's a funny story. I actually got a call from a rep over at Warner Brothers Records.
Wow.
And they said that Prince wanted to meet with me.
Okay.
And I actually thought it was a joke. I thought it was like a friend kind of running like this elaborate joke on me. And so I kind of spoke with the person for like 10 or 15 minutes, and I was just like very cold and very dry. And then once we hung up, then I realized, wow, that person, it was serious, because I was waiting for like a call back in like 15 or 20 minutes saying, we got you, or just whatever, and it just never happened. So of course, within that telephone call, they gave me the time and the place to show up, which I did. And it was a place called Center Staging Studios that's also here in Burbank.
Wow.
And when I pulled up, Prince was pulling up at the same time.
Goodness gracious, God.
Exactly. Is that crazy?
That's
in
crazy.
Like a 1960-something Mercedes limo with clear windows. So he's sitting in the back.
Stop.
It was just like so like surreal. It was just like, okay, this is not even real. Is it? Okay, that's a fake Prince in the back of that limo, like a wannabe, a Prince impersonator.
Right.
And so I got out and I started walking towards the limo, and then he got out, and so then I walked up and introduced myself. Of course, he has these two big bodyguards on.
Of course.
It says, oh yeah, I'm expecting you. So then he invited me in, and we sat and we chatted. And
did we have tea? I mean, how did this look?
Oh, yeah, it was
Did we have fruit or something? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, no tea or no fruit.
Just a conversation with the legend.
Just a conversation, and me and my sketchbook.
Wow.
And him. And actually, I was so nervous.
I was so
nervous that my sketchbook, kind of, papers of it just kind of like fell out on the ground, pencils, ink pens. And he was so gracious. I mean, he literally bent down, because he was standing up in front of me and I was sitting doing sketches. And he literally bent down and picked them up.
Wow.
And handed them back to me, and I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Wow.
It's like, I'm never going to watch this ink pen again.
Wow, that's amazing.
But it kind of went on to be like a really big deal.
So how was the energy as far as the creative process? Like, were you just pitching, or were you just kind of like telling me what you want?
I was kind of pitching, and I think that when I went in, I kind of like had this vision of remember, this was like 2004. Wow. For his musicology tour.
Okay.
I may have the year wrong, but it was somewhere in there.
In the early 2000s.
In the early 2000s. And his look kind of like had really simmered down. Almost very classic, but with an edge. He was wearing the asymmetrical suits.
Okay.
The shoulder pads were still a little bit wide. He was still wearing the kind of like coiffed kind of hairdo, but the clothing had kind of like really mellowed out. And I went into the meeting with kind of like these really wild silhouettes and cutouts. And he says, I like it. But he says, that's not me anymore. He says, that I feel like that garment would be wearing me rather than me wearing the garment. So I kind of like had to, and then I kind of like went back. I left the meeting, and I was kind of like a little bit discouraged. And the rep from Warner Brothers Records called me and says, wow, okay, you must have done really something really great to impress him, because he's seen probably 10 people before you, and he didn't invite any of them back, and he wants you to come back with more sketches. And I was like, wow.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is.
That is such a great story. I'm so happy to hear that. And also, I guess, you told Pro Media Magazine your design aesthetic is combining sophistication and edginess with an ease of comfort, almost like putting your pajamas on with a fur coat, is what you said. And I love that, because I feel like that is such a huge trend right now, being comfortable but just throwing that fur. And I know Rihanna has done it, Keke Palmer has done it, so I love that that's just the natural, design for you.
Right.
And it's also, my style. I like to be comfortable.
I could tell.
Yeah, I like to be comfortable.
I'm really feeling the natural kind of comfortable hairdo. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And it really says a lot about a woman being able to pull it off, and pulling it off with confidence. Confidence is comfort. You
really
realize
is.
that, right?
That's
It takes a person being really, really confident and really, really comfortable to wear certain things.
And it makes it look better when you're confident, because if you're not, it's gonna,
absolutely.
you ain't wearing it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. So what do you say to men or women who say that beauty is pain?
I say that goes back to the beginning of time.
Okay.
You know, anything that we really, really, really want really badly,
right,
we're willing to do whatever it takes to achieve it.
Of course.
You know, so it's, you know, it goes back to like tribes in Africa scarring their bodies.
Very
you
true.
know, for the sake of beauty.
Absolutely, and there's
that's
beauty
aesthetically
in it.
Beautiful to them.
Wow.
So there are, you know, people in China for many, many years that would bind their children's feet because it was pleasing to have very, very small feet.
Wow.
So,
wow.
I mean, it didn't matter if you couldn't stand up without wobbling, but your feet were small. So
wow.
it was, you know, so it was beautiful to them.
Wow.
You know, the Mayan culture, they would do like earlobe stretching, you know, where the big, huge plugs in their earlobes. I mean, that was beautiful to them.
And that even became a trend here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
And let's get into your line on Unapologetically Sexy. We've got to throw up a photo in a second of your Unapologetically Sexy line. Tell us about how it came about, the name I'm obsessed with.
Well, the name is just kind of like something that I have always kind of believed as far as a woman expressing her sexuality.
Okay.
And I know that sometimes people kind of are very judgmental about what they see a woman wearing and what they deem to be appropriate or inappropriate. And I think that there are no rules or no regulations. There's no boundaries. If something makes you feel good about yourself, I think you should wear it.
Absolutely.
And sometimes people, you know, especially in the churches or just in whatever, government, whatever, they think that certain attire, whether if it's too kind of revealing, that it is not right. So I would say to those people that anything that makes you feel good about yourself, you should wear.
Absolutely.
You know, if it makes you feel happy, if it makes you feel joyful,
right.
You know, if it makes you feel sexy, if it makes you feel strong, you should wear it. Just imagine this. There was a time where the afro that you're rocking right now was deemed inappropriate.
Of course.
You know, a woman couldn't go to a bank in the 50s or the 60s or even the 70s and wear that kind of afro. I mean, she'd lose her job. There was a time where a woman couldn't wear braids, you know, on, you know, a job in corporate America.
Right, right.
You know,
very, very
yeah,
true.
Exactly. Remember that? They had to fight to wear natural hairdos.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Unapologetically Sexy is all about that. It's all about whoever you are, whatever culture you are, whatever background you have. If it makes you feel good and it makes you feel strong, you should do it. Absolutely.
And so you also posted recently some menswear outfits. Now, that's not a part of the Unapologetically Sexy line, right?
This is a part of the Perry White LA collection. Yeah,
okay, just the collection in general.
Just the collection in general.
Obsessed with these.
You.
I'm really, really into Balmain, and I got some Balmain vibes from this. This is very forward thinking and extremely brilliant.
Thank you.
I love that. What do you say to men? Do you sort of apply that same unapologetically sexy?
I absolutely do, because I think men can tend to be a little more reserved,
of course.
You know, and they kind of are worried about what other men are going to think about them when they're wearing a certain garment.
Right.
So I say to them, whatever makes you feel the best.
Right.
If you want to wear something that is, you know, showing your skin, or wearing something sheer, or wear lace or velvet or just whatever, I think you should do it. You know, men have been for far too long the conservative ones.
For sure.
And you know, and this is another interesting thing, because in the animal kingdom, the males are always the ones that are more expressive. It's the male lion that has the big, huge mane. It's the male peacock that has the huge plume of colorful tail feathers.
Wow.
You know, and there was a time where men would dress more expressive, but as time went on, that kind of like fell to the background and somehow became inappropriate.
Yeah.
So I think that men should kind of like dare to step out and be a little stronger in their fashion statements.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm going to be their greatest supporter. I'm going to cheer them on all the way, and they can come to me to buy their stuff.
Oh, they better. Yeah. They better, because this is absolutely genius. I love it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So let's get into, you know, some other designs that you've done for celebrities. Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh wow. That is wild.
Yes, this is actually his classic look. Now, how did that come about?
Oh wow. That actually started out with Coolio. Now, Snoop is going to be mad at me for saying this. You know you're my homie, right? I love you forever, Snoop. You know we go way back, homie.
Yes, I love Snoop.
But actually, Coolio introduced me to Snoop.
Okay.
And I made his Grammy outfit when he won the Grammy for, what was the song? Ghetto Paradise.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So I made an outfit for Coolio with bandana trim.
Wow.
Blazer and pants, and so he had a relationship with a friendship, of course, with Snoop Dogg, and he says, "I have somebody that I want you to meet." And I was like, "Who?" He's like, "Snoop. You know, we're going to sell some of these bandana outfits to him." So we were actually thinking about partnering up at that time. So we went over and I met him. Great person. Real approachable, you know, just kind of like very down to earth.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, exactly.
The first time I ever met him was for his show Martha Stewart and
right,
Snoop,
exactly.
Snoop and Martha Stewart cooking show.
Right.
And he is just a genuinely funny and like just down to earth person.
Oh, he is so awesome.
And I feel like in every interview you see that, and it's like that's actually who he is.
That's him for real.
That's awesome.
No, he's not being pretentious.
No,
he's not putting on a show.
Of course, no.
I mean, it's like that is the real person, you know. And so if he like walked it right in here to that, of course, a cloud of pharmaceutical grade would come in with.
We'll just be following right behind that.
Exactly.
Speaking of clouds that follow Snoop, when y'all were together, did y'all do a little puff?
Oh my God! Can you believe? I mean, it was like I went to meet with him one day.
Yeah.
And it was like so funny. So this is when he was living out in Chino. I think the city is called like Claremont or something. It's like maybe 20 or 30 miles past Pomona.
Oh, okay.
And so I drove out there to meet with him.
Okay.
And so I walk in and I'm showing him some fabric swatches, and we're sitting in a studio that was much like this. He had a home recording studio. And there was like this cloud of marijuana, just like you know, of course I got contact high as soon as I walked in. So we sat down, and so he's kind of like looking at the swatches, and then he's kind of telling me, you know, what his vibe is and what he wants to do with, you know, the movie contracts and, you know, the movie scripts that he's been offered, and, you know, kind of what he thinks his look should be in these movies and all that. So I'm sitting there and I'm getting higher and higher as we're sitting.
Trying to be professional.
And then at the same time he's rolling another joint.
Oh, gosh.
And then he lights it and puffs it and then passes it to me. And I'm like, oh my God. So then I sit there and I said, you can't say no to Snoop. Snoop just passed you the joint. You cannot say no. How you gonna say no?
I know.
So I took the joint and I took a puff and I sucked it in and then blew it right out, thinking, okay, you know. But it was the grade of marijuana was just so supreme that it just like hit me like right away. So I'm sitting there and I'm like blasted from the first puff. Then he takes it and then he puffs and then he passes it back to me and I'm like, no, this is not puff puff pass. I cannot hang with you in the puff puff pass. So
I don't think I could have hung with him in the
you know
puff
what
puff
I'm
pass
saying?
either.
And so by the time the meeting was over and I walked outside, I said, hey Perry, how you gonna drive home? You cannot drive home. So I drove out of his driveway, this long 200-foot driveway.
And it probably felt longer.
It felt longer at the time, and then got past the guard gate and all that and just sat there on the outside of this gated community for like 4 hours trying to come down.
4 hours.
It was at least 4 hours.
And what's funny is that I feel like Snoop probably, the cameras
in the front
probably knew it and just already knew what it was.
Exactly. He was laughing. That's Snoop. See what you did to me, homie?
You've got the best, you've got the best stories. That's unbelievable. And I was going to say, there's no way that you met with Snoop
and didn't
for
get
a
high.
consultation.
And did not get high.
And did not, no, ain't no way.
and that's been the case pretty much on every time that I've ever met with him.
Oh my
every
goodness.
video shoot. Yeah, you know, I did his wedding as well.
I know,
I did his wedding
saw the
suit.
photos, yes.
Yeah, and I did his wife's wedding dress. And I, right after the ceremony, he rolled one and passed it to me. And I was like, okay, come on. You know, he asked me to, actually, I didn't even know that he was going to invite me to stay for the actual reception.
Yeah.
So he said, oh yeah, will you stay and just kind of like hang out? And I was like, oh yeah, sure. And so as he's rolling one, and then he passes it to me, and I'm like, okay, come on, you have to act like you're
And
down.
that's the wedding weed.
Exactly.
That's the wedding weed, so we know this is the real deal.
Exactly. So we got on a boat and cruised around Long Beach Harbor.
Oh, wow.
And literally, like, while the party was going on, I found a couch and fell asleep on the couch during the reception.
I bet. I bet. I love the effort. I'm not gonna lie. The weed was just too strong. Yes, I love the effort. Oh my goodness, that is like the best story ever. I can literally visualize every single part of that story.
Yeah, but it wasn't funny when it was happening though.
No, I bet it wasn't. Oh, I know. It's never fun to feel like you can't even function. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, you have to always have your cool on.
Right.
You know.
Right. And on to another. We're just gonna name drop throughout this entire show. Macy Grey.
That's my girl.
VH1's most fashionable artist of the year in 2000. She brought you on stage.
Oh my God, that's my girl.
We also have Sacha Baron Cohen from the movie Bruno.
That's right.
I mean, the list just goes on. Do you watch design shows on television like Project Runway?
You know, I kind of like peek at them just a little bit.
Okay.
I don't follow too much because it's like a little too theatrical for me.
I mean,
it's kind of like a little too contrived. For my taste.
Wow.
I kind of think that some of the things that they put the potential winners through don't necessarily, I mean, you would never go through that in the real world. So they're more for entertainment, you know. So I'm not mad at that.
Of course, of course.
Whatever
it's
you
television.
Gotta do,
it's got to be,
whatever you got to do to get ratings, and all that. So, but I wouldn't mind being a judge on one of those shows.
Of course, yeah. No, you'd be a great judge.
I put some of the contestants through some hoops.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And testing their creative genius.
Exactly.
I think absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of having sort of an expression through fashion is not only an expression of self but an expression of voice. Chrisette Michele wore a skirt for Trump's inauguration, which she told the Breakfast Club was a way of her protesting the whole drama between Trump and people who don't support Trump. What's your reaction to her choice of outfit? We're going to pull that outfit up for you in a second. I'm not sure if you saw it, but
I didn't.
And what does it mean?
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I try not to listen to anything involving
politics.
Trump. Not politics, but just Trump per se. I just for me and a lot of people that I know and love, it was just kind of way too trippy and too emotional.
I respect that.
Because everybody was just so upset, and I made a decision that I was going to be okay no matter what.
Of course.
Because I wasn't necessarily a Hillary fan either.
Yeah, and that's the dilemma, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, basically it's all a matter of picking your poison.
Right.
And so if Trump wins, then, it just kind of really shows just how twisted the society is that we're living in right now. So, but long story short, I just try and not, kind of like get too wrapped up in it. So I didn't see the outfit, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah, so this is sort of a long shot, and basically it was just some we're gonna get I think there's another photo that's a little bit more close up. And let me see if I can
now
pull
is that a print? So is that a kind of a protest print?
It is. So she said it was and I'm gonna pull it up actually right here.
Okay. She looks really beautiful in this image.
I think so too. Yes, exactly. I think so too. And I'm gonna pull it up for you right here.
Oh, okay, awesome.
But so basically, this was her way of protesting, and my, question is, what do you think, like, what does it mean for her to use fashion as her voice in this arena specifically? Well,
looking at the image, if I didn't have the backstory, I couldn't really see how it's a protest.
I totally agree.
I can see that it has a lot to do with one of my favorite artists, Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Oh, wow.
A lot of his art is there. So it seems like they took images or pictures of his art and then put it on the skirt. But I can see that it's very Pan-African and very pro-black, which Trump is not. So so maybe that's the tie-in. Maybe that's the relation between the two.
Do you think that it was wise? Do you think that she achieved at least trying to protest through fashion?
Oh, well, I think so. I mean, if it's something that kind of it's a thinking man's protest, kind of. You have to like kind of really think through that.
Okay.
And if she gives you a clue and says this is what this is, then you have to sit back and think about it for a minute. So I think it's great.
I love
Absolutely.
that. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what's
we all need a little brain twister.
Of course. Very
a little
true.
mental challenge every now and then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just was wondering, is there anything, like, I just love your energy, and
Thank
you just have such a great like spirit, and then of course the creativeness.
It's easy to be that way around you.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate that. I received that. What's one thing people wouldn't expect about you?
Wow. Well, that I'm really into my quiet time.
Ooh.
I really love my time alone.
Okay.
Strictly alone. Just me,
I'm
myself,
the same.
my thoughts.
Okay.
It's so important. A lot of people don't understand that. They're so caught up in being accepted by other people, and so they make this special effort to be around somebody at all times, or they think that they're not desirable if they're not around somebody at all times.
Absolutely.
So not being around people is almost and by choice. Is a sense of power. It's a sense of getting to know yourself better.
Of course.
And people who can't do that have almost like insecurities that they need to check in with and kind of find out why, because it's so important. I mean, have you ever heard of meditating? It's like you know what I'm saying. It's like it's to those people. It's like, come on, get by yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, line the energy up with yourself, and then you're better around other people.
Oh, for sure.
Because the real you shines through.
Woo! Come and get this word. Like my friend McCall Hall says, my fellow AfterBuzzer. Absolutely, it's so true. I think that is the number one thing for lonely people. They think that they need someone there to fulfill them.
Yeah.
They don't realize how free they will feel once they love themselves more, because they'll eventually build this circle around them that they like. A physical circle that they know this is the energy that I like to keep, because this is the meditation that I provided for myself as my own person. And then you will not allow someone to disrespect you. You'll know exactly who should come into that circle.
Oh my God! Did you just nail it? Or what? Because those people, they actually don't realize it, but they're collecting. They're around all of these people by default. See, if you were really lined up with yourself, then you could pick and choose.
Of course.
Who is going to come into your experience and who's not, and who's worthy of coming into your experience.
Who's worthy of it?
But they don't do that because they're just so almost like desperate to be around people that they'll just take anybody.
Right. Exactly.
And like you said, and kind of set themselves up for being misused, abused, mistreated.
And then they'll find themselves being lonely right over again. It's a lesson that I had to learn myself, because I felt so lonely for so long, especially when you're 26 and you're single.
26 years young, baby. Yeah. You're looking 21.
Yes,
looking 18.
Oh, thank you. Yes, but yeah, exactly. I feel like it's just something that we all have had to go through.
Absolutely.
And I just think that it's a very valuable lesson that a lot of people don't learn, but I love the way that you explained it.
Some people spend a whole lifetime and they don't get it.
They never
go to their
find out.
deathbed feeling lonely and just unloved or whatever. You gotta love yourself first.
And someone we both love to death is EJ Johson.
Oh yeah, EJ, that's my boy. That's my boy. Love me some EJ. Absolutely.
I love EJ. We actually did the after show
I've known
here.
EJ since before he was born, when he was in his mama's stomach.
Stop it.
Yeah. I go back with the Johnsons.
Oh
like
my
that.
goodness!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're wonderful people.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Yeah, and they raised him right.
I see that.
Oh, absolutely. He's a wonderful, wonderful person. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
They're a very spirited person, but very kind and very loving.
Yes.
He's a great guy.
And I saw we actually did the AfterBuzz after show here, EJ in the city for him.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you designed.
Is he not all that plus some?
I know he is, and everything he says is just a perfect line that he literally
exactly.
should just
let me write this down.
I know he needs to write down everything he says, and I think that's why he got the spinoff show.
Yeah. He should write a book of catchphrases,
right? He
really
should. He needs doing the most.
Exactly.
Everyone says that now.
Everybody says
but
it.
he was the originator.
He was the originator.
What would people not expect about EJ, since you know him personally? We see this celebrity, and by the way, this design.
Oh, thank you.
Bad.
Thank you.
Beautiful. beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually did the one-piece jumpsuit that's underneath, the mesh body. Yes, absolutely.
And
he wears everything so well. He's kind of like a muse for me.
He seems to be very comfortable.
And what's interesting, he is absolutely comfortable, and that's how it should be. That's kind of like plays back to what we were talking about earlier. Just being free to wear whatever, unapologetically sexy, being free to wear whatever makes you feel the best, and F the rest.
And exactly. And I guess he's one of those clients that is like a dream client because he's open to your ideas.
Oh, absolutely, he is. So he's it's funny because a lot of things that I will customize for him, I can sometimes put it on my collection because it's like now you kind of find women kind of following his lead and wanting to wear what he's wearing.
I'm telling you,
and it's very appreciated by men as well. I kind of post his pictures on my Instagram account, and I get lots of likes from guys.
Yes, I bet, absolutely. And what have you and EJ talked about regarding his focus in fashion career? Because on his show, he actually spoke about how he wanted to, get more into fashion. He didn't know if he wanted to be maybe just a correspondent, which he would be obviously genius for because it's just fun to hear him talk.
Right.
But has he ever consulted with you at all about, maybe getting more into fashion?
Oh yeah. We've talked about it.
Okay.
He actually is an extremely creative person.
Okay.
He's just a designer by nature.
Okay.
Just wanting the way that he puts things together and the way he coordinates his outfits.
I love that.
He wears a lot of leg ups, and so those we've designed together. So we've collaborated on those actually.
Wow.
And they're actually his concept. And sometimes he'll see like a pair of pants, and then he's like, oh wow, let's make that into like a stay up. So they'll sometimes have cutouts, they'll sometimes have lace ups, they'll have grommets, they'll have studs.
Ooh.
But they're just from the foot to the knee, and you can put your boot or shoe on with it, and it looks like you're wearing like a thigh-high boot.
Wow.
Yeah. So and that's his concept.
That's so awesome.
Absolutely, yeah.
And have you met Laquan Smith or Kyle?
I have not met Laquan Smith, but I love his work.
Yeah.
He's absolutely awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. So I follow him on Instagram.
Yes, I love
follow
Laquan
me
as
back,
well.
homie. Follow me back.
Yes, right, exactly. Well, we're going to get into this 60-second Q&A.
Okay.
I always, when I have guests,
I should brace myself for this, right?
I don't think so.
Come on
I
now.
think it's going to be more fun than anything.
I should have a sip of water
Just
now.
a little sip. Yeah, go ahead and have a little sip.
Right.
Okay. All right, so let me actually get my timer together.
Oh my, so we're going to be on timer and everything, huh?
Yeah, I only do 60 seconds, as many questions as you can answer.
Okay, let little Shaka Khan put me at ease.
Yes, let's kind of get into that. Hey. Do it naturally,
right,
though.
That's right. Exactly like you're doing right now with the hair. I'm loving it.
Okay, ready, set, go. Most expensive purchase.
Oh my God. My Range Rover.
Favorite holiday.
Oh my God. Holland.
Holland? Okay, happy place. Where's your happy place?
Within.
Ooh, sex or money?
Money, definitely. Sex is overrated.
Superpower, what would it be?
My mind control.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Overused word or phrase?
Oh God. Oh, that's a hard one. Can we?
Okay,
let's keep going.
Biggest turn off in design trends. What should be over and thrown?
The ripped knees. Come on, get rid of it, people.
Yeah.
EJ, you're still wearing it too. So I'm sorry, but I love you. But
favorite food.
Oh my God, favorite food, salmon.
Ooh, last concert.
Oh God, that's a shame. You put me on the spot like that. But it was Sade.
All right, and that's actually it.
Okay.
That was awesome. Oh, it was Sade.
Sade, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, at the Forum. I'm sorry, not at the Forum, but at the Staples Center. And
That's
I actually sat in the skybox with the Johnsons. Thank you, Magic and Cookie, for inviting me to share the Sade concert with you.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, that's bucket list territory anyway.
What I'm saying?
Even if
I'm not even trying to name drop right now, but it's just the truth. I mean, it was like that was a blessing.
That is amazing.
They are really, really, really wonderful people.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you said your favorite holiday is what?
A trip to Holland.
Oh, your favorite. That's what you did.
So did you say? I thought you meant holiday in terms of
Event.
Vacation.
No.
Oh, my favorite holiday. I would have to say Martin Luther King's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I love that.
Because you know what? I keep trying to tell Black people, that we are very, very, very powerful.
Absolutely.
And we don't realize just how powerful we are.
No.
And I often say that if we would just kind of like refrain from spending, if we would just kind of like come up with a day, any day. Somebody pick a day.
That's a good idea.
Some high profile celebrity or Black leader or whatever. Pick the day. I don't care what it is. And we all decide not to spend any money on that day. And the United States would see, and the world would see just how powerful African American people are.
If that ain't the truth.
Or just Black people all over the world,
Right.
for that matter.
Right. And you said sex is overrated.
Sex is overrated. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love sex.
Yes,
but
yes,
you know what? When it comes to between sex and business,
right,
and me making my money,
right.
sex is always going to be there.
Right.
But that business opportunity may not always be there.
Yeah.
Some business opportunities are once in a lifetime. So you got to seize the moment.
Absolutely.
With sex, there's a lot of moments that will come and go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Exactly. It's a temporary joy.
It's a temporary joy.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, we do have a couple garments. Did you want to show those?
Oh, sure. I would love to.
Okay. How about? Do you mind?
Oh, that would be awesome.
We have his PR here that's going to hand me some garments really quickly.
Parker Reed in the house.
Yes. Shots out.
That's right. And so, yeah, we brought a couple of things.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a little frame, and we're not framed up, but I'm going to try to show you guys as much as I possibly can. The fabric, I can tell you, is absolutely divine. I'm obsessed with.
Thank you.
Go ahead and explain to us some of your designs. And remember, this is your camera, so just try to...
Oh, okay, there you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the corset top, the lace-up front corset top that's made out of a high-compression nylon rayon spandex.
Okay.
So, and it actually has a great zigzag seaming detail with a back zip, which makes it very, very easy to put it on. And it's kind of like a funky piece that you can kind of throw on with anything. You can wear it.
Is this mid?
It's mid.
Okay.
It's mid.
Love.
It's mid.
Love.
Yeah. So you can actually wear like a cool little bra top, a little leather bra top, and the corset, or you can put on a funky little T-shirt and put this over.
And it's stretchy, so it's
very stretchy.
You know,
so
because I feel like that's the trend, but everyone doesn't want to wear it because the corset you think you're gonna have to.
Exactly.
But this is gonna be more comfortable.
So in this one, it's actually comfortable, and you can breathe.
Yeah.
And you can kind of loosen the lace up if you want to. And
I'm obsessed with this.
And you can easily put it on because there's a zipper in the back.
Yeah.
So it's...
And then how much does this run, and can we get all of these on your website?
You can... Well, these are not on the website yet.
Okay.
So this is my brand new collection.
From Unapologetically?
No, not Unapologetically. It's Perry White LA.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So this will be a different theme.
All right.
Unapologetically Sexy is what's on the website right now.
Okay.
So every time I make a new collection...
So these are exclusive.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We're down for the exclusive.
And showing it first here on Black Hollywood Live with Kalima.
Yes. Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And let's move on to...
And then we have the almost like a corset bra top. So it has kind of like an athletic feel, but it has
such great fabric.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'm real proud of the stitching detail, which adds like a lot of surface interest, and it just kind of really lifts the surface interest detail.
Okay.
So it's a real fun top to wear.
Yeah.
There it is.
And so we have a dress.
And then, exactly. And then we have the high compression dress.
Yes.
With the same detailing, scoop neck.
Love, and it's gonna hug. It's gonna hug your body.
It's gonna hug every single curve. And then imagine this dress. Let me see if I can. Am I showing it? Okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
You are.
And then kind of like rocking this corset.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, that's perfect combination. Yes.
So it's a really, really, really fun piece.
Oh, here's some shorts that are similar.
Back to the shorts.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of rock the shorts with the little racerback top.
Oh, great!
And see the top with the little racerback stripe going down.
Great.
There. So it's a really
fun. And even with
oh, really? Exactly.
We have longer pants as well.
The high-waisted pant. I think I'm kind of somehow getting off screen. So
Perfect.
I just kind of scoot over here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And these are actually straight leg, by the way. Here,
Exactly.
I'll show you over here, guys.
Yeah. And then they're high compression.
These are actually straight leg.
Yeah. So they hug every single curve.
Oh,
and they kind of
very stretchy.
Give the booty like a little bit of a hug and a little bit of a lift. So they accentuate the backside, and they really kind of flatter the thighs and hug the waist.
Yes.
Yeah, and they'll be on the site March 1st.
Oh, great. Well, you guys better look out March 1st. We're going to keep it moving.
That's right.
Now this I absolutely love as well.
Yeah. So this is a bodysuit swimsuit piece. Ooh. So you can actually wear it as a bodysuit, and you can wear like a little cool skirt with it, hot pants. You can wear long pants. Here's a cute little
jacket as well. I could even see this over it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they all kind of can combine together.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's the beauty of this collection, is that all of the pieces work very, very well together, or they can be worn separately.
We've got zippers on the side here. I absolutely love this.
Thank you so much. And I think that every single piece would be fabulous on you. And so that's my gift to you. You have to be rocking some Perry White. And from what I understand, you have an event coming up very soon.
Oh, hopefully, yes. Yeah. I'll be doing some red carpet, so you guys have to watch on AfterBuzzTV.com for that.
Absolutely.
I always have something coming up.
So and you have to rock Perry White, and you have to give me a little shout out.
You already know. Yes. But thank you so much for showing us your design.
Oh no, my pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming here today.
Oh, it was more than a pleasure, Kalima.
Yes.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I feel so honored and feel so blessed.
Oh, are you kidding?
Oh my God.
Thank you for coming. This is an honor for me.
Family now.
I
feel like we've known each other for a very, very, very long time.
I feel like the same way. Absolutely. Thank you. I love that feedback. And this is not the last time. This is the first time on Black Hollywood Live, but he will be back, you guys, to show us some more fashions, hopefully. But thank you guys for joining us. Make sure you follow me at Kalima Music Art Wisdom, and tell them where they can follow you.
They can follow me on perrywhite.la. That's my Instagram, and perrywhiteLA on Twitter.
Yes.
And what's Facebook? Facebook is Perry White. Just perrywhite.la. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
All right, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Next time.
Thank you, Kalima.
Of course, you're welcome.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.